In this video, I'll show you how we can iterate across detail lines in a spool file and identify various lines via conditions and map them individually depending on these conditions. So here I've loaded this demo spool file and I want to create a template that iterates across the detail lines. So first we create a page element and we want a repeat to iterate across the pages of that spool file. Move the page element into the repeat. And now I want to add a repeat within the page that iterates across some of the lines of the spool file. Here I select the lines that I want to scan. Click OK and apply. So now we'll iterate across all of these lines within this repeat. So within that repeat, I want to have several conditions, and each condition should select specific lines. So here I use the select element. And now I need to consider the various conditions that I want to look for in the lines that I'm scanning. Here we can see in dark gray the area that we are iterating across with the line repeat. In this example, I want to scan for the text enter in these positions. And before I do that, I would like to activate relative mode. So it means that now when I set up a condition, I can refer to a specific line, and I can even add a condition that looks at multiple text in the same line or a different line relative to this reference line. So here we can say, well, this is our reference line because it makes sense that I make the reference line the line where the condition is true, because then I can map lines for that section, also referring to the same line here, the example line. So here I've referred to this line, and now I can click and select with the mouse the positions that I want to use for my condition. So when I click OK, I now have this expression which extracts the positions from that specific line. So here I want to compare that with the text enter. And it is of course case sensitive, so I need to watch out for that. If this text is enter, then I might want to map the current spool file line in bold. So let's do that. Add a text. Expression. We're still in relative mode. We still have this line because we're within the condition, so this is still our reference line. Here I could have chosen to add a lot of mappings for each of the columns, but let's do it a bit quick here and just add one mapping for the complete line. And click OK and select a bold font, so this line will be bold if we find the text enter in the beginning. So here we have the lines of the spool file in the section that we have selected where the text is bold. Perhaps we want also to include all of the lines where this condition is not met, so we could add another text here in the otherwise. So we go with relative mode, and here it doesn't really matter which line we use as a reference. So we can select this one and just say, well, this is an example of a line where the other condition wasn't met. So we just want to map the contents. We have here the extracted data of the current line. In this case, we don't want to activate the bold option, so we have it just as plain text. When we look at the output here, the blank lines are missing, and when we map a text with a blank line, then it has no height because it's empty, but we can make sure that even the blank lines are also output by adding, for instance, a new line after each time we have added a blank line. So one way to do that is that we can consider this otherwise branch. and concatenate this with a string where I just hit enter in order to add a new line. So I can do that with the concat function and comma to separate the strings that I want to put together. A single or a double quote to start the string. Here I hit enter. Single quote again to end the quote that a single quote that I started before, and parenthesis end to match the one that I had for the concat, and apply. And with that, we also have the blank lines output. If there are other conditions that we want to consider here in this repeat, then of course we could add even more conditions in this select.